You and I are standing at the edge of a revolution. A revolution unlike any we've seen before. This isn't just the industrial age 2 or the digital boom. This is the era where machines can think, reason, speak, and create. This is the age of artificial intelligence. And let me tell you something, it's not coming, it's already here. AI is writing books, diagnosing diseases, composing music, driving cars, building websites, trading stocks, designing ads. It's doing things that just a few years ago we believed were only possible through human genius. So the question is not if AI will affect your life, the question is, will you rise with it or be replaced by it? Now I get it. The moment you hear the word artificial intelligence, you feel this wave of fear or resistance. Like something cold is approaching. Some people are still in denial. They say, oh, this won't affect my industry. Or I'm too old to learn this stuff. Or this is just a trend. But here's the truth. Ignoring AI right now is like sitting on the beach, watching a tsunami approach, and convincing yourself that the water will stop at your feet. The ones who thrive in this new world won't be the ones with the fanciest degrees or the longest resumes. It'll be those who learn how to adapt quickly, fearlessly, and creatively. The winners are going to be the ones who embrace discomfort, who lean into the unknown, who are willing to say, I don't know everything, but I'm ready to learn. So how do you adapt to AI before it's too late? The first key is simple but powerful. Curiosity over comfort. You've got to be more curious than you are comfortable. Curiosity is the spark that ignites transformation. Start learning about the tools, not tomorrow, today. Chatbots, automation software, generative AI, machine learning. Don't just hear these words. Dive in, Google them, watch tutorials, play with the tools, ask questions, take online courses. The only reason something seems intimidating is because you haven't danced with it yet. Second, you've got to stop being a consumer and become a creator. AI is like fire. You can either warm your home with it or burn your house down. It depends on how you use it. If you only scroll through AI-generated content, you're sitting in the audience while others are on stage. But if you start using AI to generate ideas, automate tasks, optimize your business, or amplify your creative work, then you've stepped into power. Let me give you an example. There are people today sitting at their kitchen table, building businesses with AI tools, and they don't know how to code. They're creating logos, writing product descriptions, scheduling social media, editing videos, analyzing data in hours, not weeks, because they've leveraged the tools, and guess what? You can too. But you must decide, will you complain about the change or capitalize on it? Next, let's talk mindset. If you're still thinking AI will take your job, it's not AI that takes jobs, it's people who know how to use AI that will. So what's your weapon? It's not fear, it's emotional intelligence, creativity, leadership, strategy. AI can replicate data, but it can't replicate the fire in your gut, the hunger to grow, the heart behind your vision. Those who combine AI with these human gifts will be unstoppable. Another key, be flexible with your path, but obsessed with your mission. The path is changing. Your industry is changing. Your skills are changing. That's okay. But don't lose sight of your mission. To provide value, to solve problems, to lead, to serve, to grow. When your mission is clear, you won't be paralyzed by change. You'll be fueled by it. We're living in a time where one tool, one insight, one brave leap could change everything for you. That course you were delaying, that side hustle you wanted to automate, that content you wanted to scale, that book you wanted to write, AI can help you do all of it. Faster, smarter, better, but you gotta stop waiting for permission. The future doesn't wait. AI doesn't wait. The market doesn't wait. So why should you? There will be those who say, it's too complicated, I don't have time, I'm not tech savvy, and those same people will be wondering 5 years from now why their job is gone or why their business is behind. Listen to me. You don't need to become an engineer, you don't need to learn to code, but you do need to become dangerously adaptable. You need to build a relationship with these tools the same way you once learned to drive, use the internet, or operate a smartphone. You didn't know how back then, you learned. This is no different. And if you're still waiting for the perfect moment to begin, let me remind you, someday is not a day of the week. The time is now. Not because it's comfortable, but because it's necessary. This is your wake-up call. Not to fear the machine, but to partner with it. Not to be replaced, but to be reborn. Not to survive, but to lead. The future belongs to the fast, to the flexible, to the ones who say yes to the unknown. So don't wait for AI to change the world. Let it change you first, before it's too late. Adaptation is the new intelligence. Those who learn fastest win. In today's world, intelligence is no longer defined by how much you know, how many degrees you hold, or how long you've been in the game. The real currency is how quickly you can adapt, shift, and move with the times. The faster you learn, unlearn, and relearn, the more valuable you become. We are not living in a world that rewards those who wait for change to settle. We are living in a world that rewards those who move as the change begins to rise. Everything is changing at a speed we've never seen before. Technology that was revolutionary 5 years ago is now outdated. Skills that were in demand a year ago are being automated. Tools we never imagined using are now part of our everyday lives in this environment. The old rules don't work anymore. The person who clings to the past, to old methods, to outdated thinking, loses. Not because they weren't intelligent, but because they weren't fast enough to evolve. What separates the winners today is not access, not luck, not even resources, it's adaptability. It's the willingness to jump into discomfort, to start learning again like a beginner, to fail fast and course correct. You don't have to be the smartest in the room, but you must be the quickest to transform. The learners, the curious, the ones who raise their hands and ask, what's this new thing and how can I use it? They're the ones who rise. Think about it. What's the use of having deep knowledge in a system that no longer exists? What's the value of mastering tools that have already been replaced? We're not in a knowledge economy anymore. We're in a speed economy. The world is moving too fast to wait for slow learners. It's not survival of the fittest, it's survival of the fastest. Those who win today are those who treat learning as a lifestyle, not an occasional task. They don't fear new technologies, they chase them. They don't wait for someone to teach them, they go find the answers. They don't protect what they know. Adaptation means constantly updating yourself like software. It means becoming aware of your blind spots and aggressively working on them. It means saying, I don't know this yet, and then going all in to master it. In this world, every challenge is an invitation to grow. Every disruption is a doorway. Every change is a test to see how fast you can rewire your mind, your habits, your actions. It's not easy. Adaptation demands humility. You have to let go of the comfort of mastery and return to the awkwardness of being a student. But that's the price of relevance. The moment you stop adapting is the moment you begin to fade. Businesses know it, creators know it, entrepreneurs know it. Leaders who lead with yesterday's tools become followers in today's world. But the ones who stay hungry, who stay agile, who see learning not as a chore but as a competitive edge, those are the ones who thrive. You're not falling behind because you're not smart. You fall behind when you think you've learned enough, because the game never stops. The rules keep changing. The moment you pause, you start losing. The moment you resist the shift, you become part of the past. Adaptation is intelligence in motion. It's not about memorizing information. It's about sensing change and flowing with it. The most successful people today are not the know-it-alls. They're the learn-it-alls. They ask better questions, stay uncomfortable longer, and fail forward faster. They realize that the faster they adapt, the more value they create. AI won't take your job, but someone using AI will. That statement is not a warning, it's a wake-up call. The machines aren't coming for your career, but the people who are learning how to use them, they are. Right now, at this very moment, someone somewhere is learning how to automate tasks that once took a full team. Someone is mastering a tool that writes emails, builds websites, edits videos, analyzes data, and predicts consumer behavior. All in minutes. They're not superhuman, they're not tech geniuses, they're just ahead of you in one crucial way. They decided to learn what you decided to ignore. The future belongs to those who are willing to embrace the tools of the future, and AI is not just a tool, it's a multiplier. It amplifies speed, creativity, productivity, and intelligence. The person who combines their human skill with AI's power becomes a force that is nearly impossible to compete with. In every industry, from healthcare to finance, marketing to education, AI is becoming the new coworker. But here's the key difference. AI won't replace people, it will replace tasks. And the people who do nothing more than repetitive, rule-based tasks are the ones at the highest risk. If all you bring to the table is what AI can do better, faster, and cheaper, you become replaceable. But if you learn how to integrate AI into your workflow, if you start thinking about how it can free you up to focus on the creative, strategic, and emotional parts of your work, you become irreplaceable. AI isn't the enemy. Stagnation is, resistance is, ignorance is. Because while you're debating whether AI is good or bad, someone else is building with it, creating with it, launching with it. This isn't about becoming a coder or data scientist. This is about becoming aware. It's about saying, how can I use AI to make me more efficient, more impactful, more creative? How can I use it to scale my business, personalize my services, or automate what's draining my time? The people who are doing that already are pulling ahead, not because they work harder, but because they work smarter. They understand that AI doesn't take away the need for humans, it increases the demand for humans who understand how to use it. And the scary truth is, you might not even see the disruption coming. You'll just notice that someone else is doing your job faster, their content is reaching more people, their clients are happier, their decisions are sharper, and you'll wonder how. The answer won't be luck. It'll be leverage. It'll be that they learned how to use the tools you were too scared or too lazy to explore. This is not science fiction, it's not a prediction, it's reality. It's already happening. Businesses are replacing entire teams with automated systems. Freelancers are using AI to offer services at half the cost and half the time. Students are using it to research, summarize, write, and create like never before. And every single person who takes the time to understand AI today is giving themselves a massive edge tomorrow. The gap is no longer between rich and poor, old and young, educated and uneducated. The gap is between the adaptive and the resistant, between those who say, let me figure this out, and those who say, this isn't for me, between those who lead and those who are left behind. Your job isn't under attack from AI. Your job is under attack from someone who has the same role, the same goal, but an extra tool in their arsenal. And that tool is changing the game. Don't compete with AI, collaborate with it. The mindset shift begins with understanding that artificial intelligence is not here to replace your value, but to enhance it. People fear what they don't understand, and that fear leads to resistance. But the most powerful strategy in a time of disruption is not to fight change. It's to fuse with it. AI is not your enemy. It's not your rival. It's your most powerful ally. If you learn to work with it instead of against it, when you try to compete with something that can work 24/7, process billions of data points in seconds, and generate ideas without fatigue, you set yourself up for defeat. But when you ask the question, how can I use this to amplify what I do best, you unlock something far greater than competition. You unlock collaboration. Imagine what becomes possible when you bring your unique human gifts, empathy, emotional intelligence, creativity, leadership, storytelling, and fuse them with AI's precision, speed, and scale. You become exponential. You become someone who doesn't just produce more, you produce better, faster, smarter. You don't need to know every algorithm or understand the coding behind every tool. You need to understand how to use these tools to solve real-world problems, to innovate within your industry, to create experiences that were never possible before. That's the difference between being replaced and being elevated. The people who rise to the top in this AI era will not be the ones trying to outperform machines. They will be the ones who learn to orchestrate them. Think of AI as your assistant, your partner, your backstage crew. It handles the repetitive, the data heavy, the complex processing, so you can focus on the magic only you can bring. When you try to outwork AI, you burn out. When you try to outthink AI, you get stuck. But when you learn to delegate the right parts of your workflow to AI, you unlock time, energy, and space to focus on vision, strategy, and leadership. That's the real competitive advantage. Not in fighting AI, but in flowing with it. Collaboration with AI starts by exploring. Start using the tools. Test them, break them, apply them to your work. Whether you're a marketer, teacher, designer, business owner, content creator, or student, there is an AI tool that can help you go further, faster. The people who will succeed are not the ones who sit back and wait to be trained. They're the ones who get curious, who play with the tech, who figure it out along the way. You don't need a perfect plan, you need action. You need to see AI not as a replacement, but as an evolution. Even the most creative industries are being transformed. Writers using AI to brainstorm, designers using it to generate drafts, musicians using it to compose, entrepreneurs using it to test ideas, analyze markets, and reach more customers. This isn't cheating. This is choosing to use every available resource to multiply your impact. Collaboration doesn't mean giving up your role. It means expanding it. You're still the driver. AI is just the engine that gets you there faster, but only if you're willing to sit in the seat and steer. The moment you stop seeing AI as a threat and start seeing it as a partner, the fear dissolves and the opportunities become clear. You're no longer in a race against the machine. You're in a race with the machine on your team. Curiosity beats comfort in times of disruption. When the world starts to shift, when new tools emerge, when the old systems begin to crumble and unfamiliar ones take their place, the ones who win are not the ones who have all the answers, but the ones who ask the most questions. Comfort feels good, but it's a trap. It keeps you doing what you've always done, thinking how you've always thought, and expecting results that no longer match the reality you're living in. Curiosity, on the other hand, breaks the pattern. It opens doors. It says, what is this? How does it work? And what can I do with it? The person who remains curious never goes obsolete because they're always learning, always adjusting, always evolving. The world doesn't reward comfort anymore. It rewards adaptability. And adaptability starts with curiosity. It's what makes a person watch one tutorial, then another. It's what pushes someone to download a new app just to explore it. It's what drives you to ask questions others are too proud or too scared to ask. You don't need to be the smartest. You need to be the most open. You need to be the one who says, I don't know this yet, but I'm willing to find out. Curiosity turns disruption into discovery. While others panic, the curious start to explore. While others complain, the curious experiment. And while others freeze, the curious move. Disruption can feel like chaos, but to the curious mind, it feels like opportunity. The people who are ahead today are not always the ones with the most resources or the deepest knowledge. They're the ones who kept asking questions, kept trying new things, and refused to get stuck in what was. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They didn't wait for someone to teach them. They started poking around, clicking buttons, exploring features, and testing ideas, and before they knew it, they were building momentum. Comfort would have told them to sit back. Curiosity told them to lean in. It's easy to fall in love with what you know, to take pride in your experience, to defend your old ways of working. But when the ground is shifting beneath you, clinging to what's familiar is the fastest way to fall behind. Curiosity allows you to release the need to always be right and replace it with the hunger to always learn. It says, maybe there's a better way. Maybe this tool can make me faster. Maybe this change is a doorway, not a dead end. And that mindset is what separates the leaders from the followers, the builders from the bystanders, the ones who rise from the ones who fade. Every time you choose curiosity, you grow. You stretch, you sharpen, you evolve. And the best part is curiosity doesn't require any special skills or background. It only requires the willingness to be uncomfortable for the sake of becoming more. That first step into the unknown is uncomfortable, but it's also where innovation lives. It's where breakthroughs happen. It's where you discover what you're really capable of when you stop playing it safe. Comfort whispers that you already know enough. Curiosity shouts that there's always more to learn. One keeps you stuck, the other sets you free. In the world that's unfolding right now, where technology evolves at lightning speed and industries are being reinvented in real time, your greatest advantage is not how much you know, it's how much you're willing to discover. The future belongs to those who act, not those who wait. In every era of change, there are two kinds of people: the ones who watch and the ones who move. Watching feels safe. It feels responsible. It gives the illusion of control. But action is what changes outcomes. Action is what builds momentum. The ones who wait keep gathering information, keep asking for permission, keep saying someday. The ones who act figure things out as they go. They understand that clarity comes through motion, not meditation. You can plan all you want, but no plan matters until you take the first step. Right now, the world is shifting. Technology is evolving at a speed we've never seen before. Opportunities are multiplying for those who are willing to move while others are still deciding. You don't need to have the perfect skills or the perfect resources. You need to begin where you are with what you have. While others are waiting for certainty, for guarantees, for safety, the future is being built by people who are willing to be uncomfortable. The future doesn't belong to the ones who know the most, it belongs to the ones who do the most. The power has shifted from information to execution. Every person has access to the same tools, the same knowledge, the same platforms. What separates them is not availability, it's action. The doers stand out. They take risks. They test. They fail. They get up. They adapt. And with every step, they separate themselves from the crowd. Action is the great divider. It's what turns dreams into reality. It's what turns thoughts into impact. Waiting might feel smart, but it creates stagnation. Acting creates feedback, and feedback creates growth. You don't learn by thinking, you learn by doing. In the age of AI, this becomes even more important. The people who act first are the ones who master the tools first. They don't wait for formal training. They don't wait for the fear to disappear. They just start. They pick up the tool, explore it, mess it up, learn, and move. And because they act while others hesitate, they create leverage, they build experience, they gain an edge. And before long, they're the ones being hired, being followed, being respected, not because they knew more, but because they did more. In a fast-moving world, speed matters. Not reckless speed, purposeful speed. The kind that comes from understanding that done is better than perfect, and action beats inaction every single time. There will always be people who wait. Wait for the trend to become mainstream. Wait for others to test the waters. Wait for someone to show them how. But the leaders, the innovators, the trailblazers, they don't wait. They move first. They get ahead by showing up before everything is figured out. They lead the way, not because they're fearless, but because they move in spite of fear. Every new technology brings a wave. The ones who act early miss the wave. The ones who act early miss the courageous. It opens doors for those who knock, not for those who stand outside wondering if they should. Acting doesn't mean you have all the answers. It means you're willing to find them. It means you trust your ability to learn, adapt, and grow through the process. That's how real confidence is built. Not by thinking about what you might do, but by doing something and becoming more capable in the process. The future is not something that happens to you. It's something you create through every decision, every move, every moment you choose to lean forward instead of stepping back.